I can't get over last night. I cannot get over Ben Simmons and that performance against the Brooklyn Nets. Wow. 31 points, 9 assists. The defense was unreal, blocking shots out by the perimeter, steals, being aggressive, the blocks. He was all over the court last night, and it was so perfect, and it was so awesome. Is he a finished product? No, okay? He's not a finished product, but he's taking the steps. He's showing us growth. This is the best performance we've seen out of Ben Simmons. What we saw yesterday was the absolute best performance we've seen. And the fact that some people can't enjoy that because, it's against the Brooklyn Nets, or they can't enjoy that because he still can't shoot. It's sickening. It's sickening that you can't just enjoy a great game by one of your best players. How can you not enjoy it? He was all over the floor. The versatility when it came from scoring. Without a jump shot, the dude drops 31. And it wasn't just fast break point slam dunks. Some of them was in the half court. Speaking of Dudley, some of those were in the half court, and you got to give Brett Brown credit because some of these plays, especially in the fourth quarter, a dribble handoff, set a screen, move without the ball, get the ball back on the one side. It was crazy with some of these half court sets and watching Ben Simmons do magic with that. He saw the floor tremendously. Even the hook shot he's using with the right hand and the kiss off the glass, he was showing it in so many different ways, and I hate that. There are fans out there, Sixers fans, I don't care about any other fans, the Sixers fans that want to get rid of Ben Simmons and just focus on the one thing he can't do, which is shooting jump shots, which is a big thing, and even I'm on the record saying he needs to add that to his game, but you just harp and crush and just are so brutal on the one thing he can't do. What about the 50 things he can do? What about that? What about the insane amount of things that he can do tremendously? Passing, 9 assists. Defending. It's like people forget how important defending is. The kid's a beast. The kid's a beast, and he's a problem at his size. The fact that people don't want the ball in his hands. Then you don't know basketball. Because the people who say put him at the 4, because basketball these days, there's no such thing as a stretch 4. That's the only 4 there is. A 4 that sits out in the corner and can shoot. Ben Simmons can't play the 4. You take the ball out of his hands, you change everything that he does and a huge part of his game. I know I was harsh on him on game 1, but I was never a Ben Simmons get rid of him, trade him. No. There's growing pains that are going to be involved, but we're seeing him take a big step. This is a big leap, this playoff series alone. I know I want to see this against the Toronto Raptors in the next round. Of course, we all do. The fact that you can't enjoy this because it's just the Nets. Well, no, that's not right. You can still enjoy this knowing he still needs to have this type of mentality in a later round. That's obvious. Ben, 200 points, 100 rebounds, and 100 assists in his first 13 playoff games. The only other people to do that is Magic Johnson and Oscar Robertson. And I know stats are just stats, and you can find ways to make stats look good for your specific player. But what we saw out of Ben, it really was super special, and I really can't just process, his mindset and his focus over the last 2 games. Because in game 1, he heard it, and he was just not performing to the level that he is now, and that's why we're so hard on him. That's why we were so brutally honest with him by booing him. We knew he can play like this. We know he could take his game to the next level. Now, he seems right now like one of those kids that he needs some fire lit under him. Because he played phenomenal after game 1, after we booed him. Now, he played phenomenal in game 3 after Dudley makes some noise and the Brooklyn Nets fans are harassing him. Let's see what he does in game 4. But here's a hot topic today, and it's Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. And there's no doubt him being off the floor had something to do with the flow of the offense and how Ben Simmons got to certain spots and different spots and all that. And yeah, there's no doubt about it. You can't deny it. But now we're hearing things that we should trade Joel Embiid. I really can't handle this. I can at times. It's hilarious. It's comedy. We only remember the now. We only remember the one game that we win without Joel Embiid. How many times did we lose because we didn't have him? How many times did he make the difference and won us a basketball game? Joel Embiid doesn't need to be traded because we had a little bit of success with some offense without him in there. Think about this. We have Ben Simmons, J.J. Redick, Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, and Boban or Greg Monroe. Tell me how the team is worse if you entered Joel Embiid into that combination. How is it worse? Now, I know that there's times where we slow the pace down, we give it to Joel Embiid, and that's not wrong to do that. Like, that's part of him. He's literally the best center in basketball. You can make it work with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. So don't tell me the spacing on the floor will never work between these two. Get rid of them. Stop! Because of one game? Because of one game. Oh, man. It's actually insanity that people think the way that they do. Unreal. I mean, another thought that was out there, and not that I'm trying to be negative, but it's crazy what I hear, and it sparks me up because I'm passionate about this team. Tobias Harris, the only reason why he got going was because there was no Joel Embiid. Now listen, I thought he made tougher shots today. Or not today, yesterday. I wish the Sixers played today. I need to see them every day. I've seen Tobias Harris make harder shots last night in that game than he did all throughout the last 7-8 games. He was missing wide open jump shots. He was missing wide open threes. He was missing that little mid-range shot that he has there. He was missing those open shots. The ball was just falling for him last night. He was just finding his stroke. He was playing the way that he plays. Had nothing to do with who was on the floor for Tobias Harris to knock down his shots. He was just getting out of his slump. He was just making his shots. And grabbing those 16 rebounds, that was special. That was special. I've never seen someone work that hard on the glass that wasn't a center. He was all over the glass. All over the glass. It was insane. But you got to give credit to guys like Ben Simmons and Tobias last night and Brett Brown. Brett Brown did a good job once again as we handled the basketball game. Some people wanted Jonah Bolden in there over Mike Scott at the end after Boban fouled out. And that's just nitpicking stuff. That's not game-changing things. That's super, super nitpicking. Which you can do, sure. But, you know, be realistic. And on this Embiid thing, by the way, this is reality for the rest of the playoffs. He's going to be questionable every game. And I don't know if people say rest him for this round. Rest for the next round isn't the big thing with Joel Embiid right now. This tendonitis issue, he's going to need a long break. He's going to need a legit break. A week break, that's not really going to make or break much with what's going on now. This is reality. He's going to be questionable every game. It's going to hurt one day. It's going to be okay the next. And now people are bringing in the discussion on, is he eating properly? You hear the story with Landry Shamet talking about all the Chick-fil-A he's eating. And I mean, there's no doubt about it. He looks a little overweight. Everyone's talking about it. He's going to have a serious wake-up call this offseason when it comes to the diet, when it comes to this knee situation. But as for right now, I mean, you're going to get him one game or not the next. You're going to get him the next game or not the next. And it's going to be pretty crucial when we play the Toronto Raptors. Are we going to be able to handle the Nets? Are we going to be able to handle the Toronto Raptors the same way we handled the Nets without Joel Embiid? Well, I can't sit here and say that's true. So keep that in mind before you just start screaming trade Joel Embiid because our offense looked good for one basketball game without him. There's no doubt there was different flow because of Joel Embiid's absence. But it doesn't mean he's not worthy of being here. We can't have good success with him here. Who's going to defend him? I mean, really, it's as simple as that. It's crazy that is even a conversation today. But what I want to see is this team come out in Game 4 and make a legit statement. Kind of end it. Put a big fat dagger in them. Take both in Brooklyn and let's move on. I can't wait for tomorrow's game. A nice afternoon game. There's nothing better. There's nothing better than a Saturday afternoon game. You don't have to sit around and wait and have that gut feeling in your stomach until 8:30. No, you wake up, you have a nice little morning, you go to the diner, you do whatever you do, and you get back or 2:30, you hit the pregame, bang, you got yourself some Sixers at 3, and by the time it ends, it's what, 6 o'clock, and you still got a little night ahead of you. Unreal. So I want to know your thoughts on Ben Simmons. I want to hear your thoughts if you're a hater, if you're a trade Ben Simmons guy. And there's going to be games where he isn't as dominant as he was last game. I understand that. It's a growing process. But how can you look at last night and say, he doesn't have it. He still can't shoot. It was only against the Nets. How can that be your mindset? Can't you appreciate stuff like that? He's not perfect. He's 22 and a point guard in this league. Show me a perfect 22-year-old point guard. It's as simple as that. And this Joel Embiid thing, it's laughable. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.